Far beyond the familiar stars of Earth, past swirling nebulae and silent stretches of cosmic dust, lay the planet Aurorus, a world that seemed to have been painted by the hand of the universe itself. Its cities sparkled like fragments of sunlight caught in glass, with towers that reached above the clouds and bridges of luminous energy connecting them like veins of light. The air hummed with a faint resonance, the pulse of quantum energy flowing through every structure, every street, and even the trees that lined the crystal avenues. The Aurorans, its inhabitants, were beings of radiant intellect and gentle wisdom. Their lives had been shaped by centuries of peace. Violence was a distant memory, a subject for history books rather than lived experience. For them, conflict was an anomaly, and harmony their most treasured achievement. Yet, as history often shows, the brightest civilizations carry within them the seeds of their own undoing. In their desire to protect and preserve, the Aurorans made a decision that would forever alter their world and the lives of those beyond it. The species of Aurorus, magnificent yet fragile, were beginning to dwindle. A group of scientists, driven by compassion and ambition, conceived a plan to create a guardian, a being that would combine the strengths of the planet's most formidable predators, one that could defend the endangered creatures and maintain the balance of nature. What they created was something far beyond expectation. The Kale Thara was born, a creature of overwhelming power and uncanny intelligence. Its body was an amalgamation of strength and agility, massive limbs built to crush and tear, claws sharper than any Auroran blade, and a mouth lined with fangs that gleamed even in darkness. Its eyes burned with an unearthly glow, a mix of primal instinct and intelligent awareness. But the most terrifying aspect of all was its regenerative ability. No wound could hold it long. It healed almost instantly, making containment impossible. The creature was, in every sense, indestructible. At first, the scientists believed they could guide it, perhaps even teach it to coexist. They approached with tools, with food, even with rudimentary communication methods. But the Kale Thara was not a creation of logic or obedience. It was pure instinct, and instinct, when combined with such power, is unpredictable. The first breaches were minor, a shattered containment pod here, a missing security guard there, but soon the situation escalated. One night, alarms blared across the capital city. The Kale Thara had broken free. Entire laboratories were destroyed, and lives were lost. Panic spread among the Aurorans. Those who had once celebrated the brilliance of their creation now whispered about their folly. The Council of Elders convened immediately. The chamber, a grand hall of floating crystal platforms, was filled with heated voices. Some argued for mercy, claiming that the creature, however dangerous, was still a life form deserving a chance to live. Others, traumatized by loss and fear, demanded immediate eradication. After long days of debate, a decision was made. The Kale Thara would be exiled, not killed. The barren moon of Alus, at the far edge of the galaxy, would be its prison. Nothing lived there. No life thrived. The choice was made not lightly, but out of necessity. The day of exile arrived. A massive containment unit, fortified with Aurorus's most advanced technology, was prepared to hold the beast. Citizens gathered silently to watch as the creature was transported. The Kale Thara roared, a sound that shook the plaza and echoed through the city, a sound that spoke of rage, confusion, and despair. When it was finally lifted into the sky, the people of Aurorus felt a strange mixture of relief and sorrow. On Alus, the containment unit opened. The Kale Thara stepped onto blackened, jagged terrain under a sky perpetually torn by violent storms. Lightning split the heavens as the beast released a roar that carried across empty canyons. And then, silence. The transport departed, leaving the creature alone. Years passed. The Kale Thara roamed the harsh landscape, its instincts driving it to hunt, yet its mind wrestling with loneliness. It was a predator without prey, a being without purpose, enduring endless hunger, storms, and isolation. The creature's legend grew across the galaxy, a tale of nature's wrath and the consequences of tampering with life, yet the beast persisted, surviving where nothing else could. Far away, on Earth, Dr. Emily Carter was on the brink of her greatest breakthrough. A leading physicist in quantum mechanics and interdimensional studies, she had built the Starlight Gateway, a device capable of opening portals to distant worlds. Her laboratory, a maze of glowing conduits, humming machinery, and towering computers, was her sanctuary and her obsession. Every day, she and her team pushed the limits of science, testing energy stabilization, quantum feedback, and spatial anchoring, striving for the impossible. Her daughter, Lily, was often present. Only 7, yet fearless and endlessly curious, she wandered among the humming machines, asking questions that challenged even the most seasoned scientists. "What's on the other side of the stars?" she would ask. "Do creatures like me live there? Do monsters live there too?" Her mother encouraged her curiosity, teaching her observation and patience, giving her the courage to face unknown worlds, even in imagination. The day came when the gateway roared to life. A shimmering portal opened, swirling with colors no human eye had seen before. The team prepared to send a probe, eager to gather data from the other side. Lily watched, wide-eyed and trembling with awe. Then disaster struck. Energy surged uncontrollably. Sparks flew, and alarms screamed. Before anyone could react, a wave of energy pulled Lily into the portal. In a flash, she was gone, leaving only the faint echo of her scream. Dr. Carter fell to her knees, heart pounding, screaming her daughter's name. The team scrambled to stabilize the gateway, but the connection was severed. Hours became days. Days stretched into weeks, yet Lily remained lost to the unknown. When Lily awoke, she found herself on Alus. The air was thin, cold, and harsh. The sky was torn with constant storms. The jagged terrain stretched endlessly. Alone, frightened, she wandered, calling for her mother, finding only silence. She took shelter in a small cave, surviving on sparse vegetation and whatever she could forage. The wind screamed through the canyons, biting at her skin, while the nights were filled with a cold so deep it seemed to seep into her very bones. And then, one night, she heard it. Footsteps, heavy and deliberate, shaking the ground. A low growl resonated through the cave walls. From the shadows emerged the Kale Thara. Its eyes burned like molten gold, its massive form blocking the entrance. Lily froze, heart hammering. Everything she had been taught about monsters, everything she had read in books and seen in stories, came alive before her. Yet, instead of screaming, she whispered, trembling, "Please, don't hurt me." For a long moment, the creature did nothing. Then, it lowered its head. It did not attack. It did not roar. It simply observed her, sensing her fear but also something unfamiliar. Innocence, trust, and an unspoken plea for protection. In that silence, a bond was born. The Kale Thara began to watch over Lily. It hunted for her, protected her from the harsh elements, and kept her safe during storms. Lily, in return, spoke to it, telling stories of Earth, of her mother, of the world she had lost. She named it Kale. Though it could not speak, it listened, and in subtle gestures, nudges, roars, gentle nudges of its claw, it communicated in its own way. Weeks turned into months. Fear became trust. Hunger was shared. Survival became collaboration. The barren moon slowly transformed into a strange home for the two of them. Kale showed her hidden water sources, paths to avoid predators, and the safest caves for shelter. Lily taught Kale about her world, sharing memories of sunlit fields, rivers, and cities full of people. Their bond deepened. Where once there had been terror, now there was companionship, understanding, and even affection. Far away, on Earth, Dr. Carter never stopped trying. Months later, the gateway was restored. She led a team of scientists and armed personnel through the portal. When they arrived, they found Lily alive and laughing, with Kale beside her. Weapons were raised instinctively, but Lily ran forward, arms outstretched, shouting, "Don't hurt him! He saved me!" The team froze. Kale did not attack. Its eyes met Dr. Carter's, and in that instant, she understood. This was no longer a monster. It was a protector. The creature had saved her daughter. It had survived where no one expected, and it had formed a bond that transcended species, fear, and isolation. Dr. Carter's team lowered their weapons. The decision was made. Kale would come with them, not as a prisoner, but as a new beginning. Lily clung to its clawed hand, whispering softly, "You're my friend. You're my family." For the first time, the Kale Thara was not alone. And for Lily, the barren world of Alus had given her the most unlikely companion imaginable. A beast feared across the galaxy, now her protector, her friend, and her family.